California DMV CDL Audio Edition 11.5 to 11.7 Pre-Trip Inspection, inspecting your vehicle. Doors, mirrors, and windows. Check that the doors are not damaged and that they open and close properly from the outside. Hinges should be secure with seals intact. Check that the mirrors and mirror brackets are not damaged, are mounted securely with loose fittings, are free of excessive dirt. Windows must be clean and work properly. Fuel tank. Check that the fuel tank is secure, the cap is tight, and that there are no leaks from the tank, cap, or lines. And the drive shaft. See that the drive shaft is not bent or cracked. Couplings, the U-joints. They should be secure and free of foreign objects. The exhaust system, which is important. Check this system for damage and signs of leaks, such as rust or carbon soot. The exhaust system should not have cracks, holes, or severe dents. The system should be connected tightly and mounted securely, and there are no loose clamps. Frame. Look for cracks, broken welds, holes, or other damage to the longitude frame members, cross members, box, and floor. Splash guards. This is at the rear of the vehicle. When you're at the rear of the vehicle, check your splash guards. If equipped, check that the splash guards or mud flaps are not damaged and are mounted securely. Now the doors, the ties, and lifts. Check that the doors and hinges are not damaged and that they open, close, and latch properly from the outside if equipped. So still when you're at the back of the truck. Check your ties, straps, chains, and binders. They must be secure. If equipped with a cargo lift, look for leaking, damaged, or missing parts and explain how it should be checked for correct operation. The lift must be fully retracted and latched securely. Now you're looking at your tractor coupling, air and electric connectors. Check that the trailer air connectors are sealed and in good condition. Check that the fittings out of the truck and trailer are secure. Check that all connections from the truck to the trailer are secured. Check that the trailer electrical plug is firmly sealed and locked in place on both the truck and trailer. Air electric lines. Listen for air leaks. Check that the air hoses and electrical lines are not cut, chafed, spliced, or worn. Steel braid should not show through. Make sure the air and electrical lines are not tangled, pinched, or dragging against the tractor parts. Catwalk steps. Check that the catwalk is solid, clear of objects, and securely bolted to the tractor frame. Check that the steps leading to the cab entry and catwalk are solid, clear of objects, and securely bolted to the tractor frame. Check that the storage area is solid to the tongue and the cargo in the storage area is secured. Mounting bolts. Look for loose or missing mounting brackets, clamps, bolts, or nuts. Both the fifth wheel and sliding mount must be solidly attached. On other types of coupling systems, like the ball, hitch, pintle hook, etc., inspect all coupling components and mounting brackets for missing or broken parts. Check for loose or missing mounting bolts. Look for broken welds in the pintle hook or other hitch mount, and tongue drawbar assembly to be sure that they are solidly attached in place. The hitch release lever. Check to see that the hitch release lever is in place and secure, and the locking jaws. The locking jaws. Look into the fifth wheel gap and check that the locking jaws are fully closed around the kingpin. On other types of coupling systems, like the ball hitch, pintle hook, etc., inspect the locking mechanism for missing or broken parts and make sure it's locked securely. If present with safety cables or chains, must be secure and free of kinks and excessive slack. The safety devices. Check that the latch is secured and locked in place and that the cotter pin is not missing, is in place, and not damaged. Safety chains must be hooked and crisscrossed, free of kinks and excessive slack. Cotter pins to hook must be in place with the hooks secured and pointing in an outward position. If the trailer is equipped with electrical brakes, check that the breakaway chains or cables with battery backup are not missing or damaged. And the fifth wheel skid plate. Check for proper lubrication, that the fifth wheel skid plate is securely mounted to the platform and that all bolts and pins are secure and not missing. Platform fifth wheel pintle hook. Check for cracks or breaks in the platform structure which supports the fifth wheel skid plate. Check the pintle hook for cracks, breaks, or excessive wear, and the release arm on the fifth wheel. If equipped, make sure that the release arm is in engaged position and that the safety latch is in place. Kingpin Apron Gap. Check that the kingpin is not bent. Make sure that the visible part of the apron is not bent, cracked, or broken. Check that the trailer is lying flat on the fifth wheel skid plate with no gap. Locking pins on the fifth wheel. If equipped, look for loose or missing pins in the slide mechanism of the sliding fifth wheel. If air-powered, check for leaks. Make sure that the locking pins are fully engaged. Check that the fifth wheel is positioned properly so that the tractor frame will clear the landing gear during turns. Sliding pintle. Check that the sliding pintle is secured with no loose or missing nuts or bolts and that the cotter pin is in place. Tongue and drawbar. Check that the tongue drawbar is not bent or twisted and check for broken welds and stress cracks. Check that the tongue drawbar is not worn excessively. Tongue storage area. Check that the storage area is solid and secured to the tongue. Check that the cargo is in the storage area, like chains, binders, etc., and check that they're secure. Now for school buses only. Emergency equipment. In addition to checking for spare electrical fuses, 3 red reflective triangles, and properly charged and rated fire extinguisher, school bus drivers must also inspect the following emergency equipment. They must inspect for emergency kit and body fluid cleanup kit. Lighting indicators. In addition to checking the lighting indicators listed in Section 10 of this video series, school bus drivers must also check the following lighting indicators. The internal panel lights. Alternatively, flashing amber lights indicator if equipped. Alternately flashing red lights indicator. Strobe light indicator if equipped. Lights and reflectors. In addition to checking the lights and reflective devices selection in Section 10 of this video series, school bus drivers must also check the following lights and reflectors. Strobe light if equipped. Stop arm light if equipped. Alternately flashing amber lights if equipped. Alternately flashing red lights. Also, let's talk about student mirrors. In addition to checking the external mirrors, school bus drivers must also check the internal and external mirrors used for observing students. Check for proper adjustment. Check that all internal and external mirrors and mirror brackets are not damaged and are mounted securely with no loose fittings. Check that the visibility is not impaired due to dirty mirrors. The stop arm. If equipped, check the stop arm to see that it is mounted securely to the frame of the vehicle. Also, check for loose fittings and damage. Passenger's entry lift. Check that the entry door is not damaged, operates smoothly, and closes securely from the inside. Check that the handrails are secure and the step light is working if equipped. Check the entry steps. They must be clear with the threads not loose or worn excessively. If equipped with a handicap lift, look for leaking, damaged, or missing parts and explain how a lift should be checked for correct operation. The lift must be fully retracted and latched securely. Emergency exit. Make sure that all emergency exits are not damaged, operate smoothly, and closely secured from the outside. Check that the emergency exit warning devices are working. Make sure that any exterior or interior locking devices, if equipped, are not locked and that the door is free to open. Seating. Look for broken seat frames and check that the seat frames are firmly attached to the floor. Check that the seat cushions are attached securely to the seat frames. Trailer. 11.5. Trailer. The trailer front. Air and electrical connections. Check that the trailer air connectors are sealed and in good condition. Make sure that the glad hands are locked in place and free of damage or air leaks. Make sure that the trailer electrical plug is firmly seated and locked in place. Header board. If equipped, check the header board to see that it is secure, free of damage, and strong enough to contain cargo. If equipped, the canvas or tarp carriers must be mounted and fastened securely. On enclosed trailers, check that the front area for signs of damage such as cracks, bulges, holes, or missing rivets. The side of the trailer. The landing gear. Check that the landing gear is fully raised, has no missing parts, the crank handle is secure, and the support frame is not damaged. If power operated, check for air or hydraulic leaks. The doors, the ties, and the lifts on the trailer. If equipped, check that the doors are not damaged. Check that the door opens, closes, and latches properly from the outside. Check that the ties, straps, chains, and binders are secure. If equipped with a cargo lift, look for leaking, damage, or missing parts and explain how it should be checked for correct operation. The lift should be fully retracted and latched securely. Frame. The frame. Look for cracks, broken welds, holes, or other damage to the frame, cross members, box, and floor. Tandem release arm locking pins. If equipped, make sure the locking pins are locked in place and the release arm is secure. Remainder of the trailer. The remainder of the trailer. Please refer to section 11.3 on external inspection in this video series for detailed inspection procedures regarding the following components: the wheels, the suspension system, the brakes, the doors, the ties, the lifts, the splash guards. 11.6 Coach Transit Bus. Passenger items. Passenger entry lift. Check that the entry doors operate smoothly and close securely from the inside. Check that the handrails are secure and if equipped, the step lights are working. Listen here. Check that the entry steps are clear and the treads are not loose or worn excessively. If equipped with a handicap lift, look for any leaking, damaged, or missing parts and explain how it should be checked for correct operation. The lift should be fully retracted and latched securely. Make sure the lift controls interlock functions properly. Emergency exits. Demonstrate that at least one emergency exit operates smoothly, closes securely, and is not damaged. Show that the release handle can be operated properly from both inside and out of the vehicle. Point out and describe how all other emergency exits operate. Check any one emergency exit warning device. Passenger seating. Look for broken seat frames and check that the seat frames are firmly attached to the floor. Check that the seat cushions are attached securely to the seat frames. Entry and exit. The doors and the mirrors. Check that the entry-exit doors are not damaged and operate smoothly from the outside. The hinges should be secured with seals intact. Make sure that the passenger exit mirrors, all external mirrors, and mirror brackets are not damaged and are mounted securely with no loose fittings. External inspection of the coach or the transit bus. This is an external inspection of the bus. Level air leaks. See that the vehicle is sitting level, front and rear, and if air equipped, check for audible air leaks from the suspension system. The fuel tanks. See that the fuel tanks are secure with no leaks from the tanks or lines. And the baggage compartment. Check that the baggage and all other exterior compartment doors are not damaged, operate properly, and latch securely. The remainder of the coach transit bus, the remainder of the vehicle. Please refer to section 11.3 on external inspection of this video series, which was the last video, for detailed inspection procedure for the remainder of the vehicle. And remember, the vehicle inspection test must be passed before you can proceed to the basic vehicle control skills test. Okay, very important here, 11.7, taking the CDL vehicle inspection test. Now for Class A vehicle inspection test, if you are applying for a Class A CDL, you will be required to perform a vehicle inspection in the vehicle you brought with you for the test. Tests include an engine start, in-cab inspection, and inspection for the coupling system. Then your test may require an inspection of the entire vehicle and only a portion of the vehicle which your CDL examiner will explain to you. Now for a Class B and C vehicle inspection test, if you are applying for a Class B or Class C CDL, you will be required to perform a vehicle inspection in the vehicle you brought with you for testing. The tests include an engine start, in-cab inspection. Then your test may require an inspection of the entire vehicle or only a portion of the vehicle which your CDL examiner will explain to you. You will also have to inspect any special features of your vehicle. We have completed Section 11. I'd like to give you a personal testimony of my CDL DMV test. When I went there and taken the pre-trip inspection test, I went down every part of the vehicle because I couldn't remember everything, so I just pointed at everything I seen and said, "You want to check this for damage? You want to check this doorknob for damage. You want to check this paint chips for damage. You don't want paint flying off. And I kept the inspector there for a very long time, where the inspector was getting quite annoyed with me pointing out every part of the vehicle. I figured if I talked about every part of the vehicle and pointed out every single detail, regardless of what it is, around the entire vehicle, then I would pass it. And I did pass it. However, I did miss a few things. You know, another thing I might have thought was, if you show that you have a thorough understanding and things like that, he'll go lenient on you, he or she, the inspector. But come to find out, it is a totally controlled test. They just have a checklist there in their hand, and they're just waiting for you to mention everything on the checklist. And they're just waiting for you to mention what's on the checklist. You may forget something, miss a point. You may not miss anything and have a perfect test. But anyway, I did pass the test. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next video. And be sure to see my video, the test questions and answers.